Hello everyone, this is Charles of Victoria Frontier. This is going to be the banner review for the Ballroom banner. Even if you don't plan on pulling on these units and support cards, I recommend at least taking a look and understanding what they do because they're likely going to affect you somewhere in the future. Let's first talk about Ballroom Seiun Sky. Ballroom Seiun Sky is a long front runner specialist just like Kira-san Black. She can be used as both an ace and a parent, and she has very strong skills in her kit. Currently, she still has an unbuffed unique skill, but will receive a buff on the 2nd anniversary, which will make it so her unique skill, Break It Down, have 0.2 acceleration instead of 0.1 acceleration. Seiun Sky's unique skill, Break It Down, functions similarly to Kira-san Black's Victory Cheer. They both proc at the start of the late game if the late game starts on a backstretch, which is most of the long tracks. The difference is that while the placement requirement is the same, Kira-san Black is going to have 0.3 acceleration right here, yet Seiun Sky before the buff is going to have only 0.1, and after the buff is going to have 0.2. The difference between them is that whenever we're on a long track, on a track that doesn't have the backstretch as the start of the late game, Kira-san Black's unique skill is going to proc on the 3rd corner for 0.25 target speed. Seiun Sky Ballroom's unique skill is going to proc on the home stretch instead for 0.35 target speed, and Angling and Scheming, Seiun Sky OG's unique skill is going to be the fastest immediate acceleration on tracks that have a corner as the start of the late game. You might have gotten the idea already. We'll want to use Ballroom Seiun Sky as an ace when we are on a long track, and when we're on a medium track or any other track that has a corner for the start of the late game, we are going to use the original Seiun Sky for Angling and Scheming. Again, the way Break It Down works is that when the late game starts on the backstretch, we will have the 5-second base duration of 0.35 target speed, 0.2 acceleration after the buff. Before the buff is going to be 0.1 acceleration. If the late game does not start on the backstretch, if we're on any other track, the unique skill is going to become 0.35 target speed for 5 seconds base duration home stretch unique skill. Seiun Sky's kit is strong, and I'll talk about it later, but the idea for the unique skill is that the 0.2 acceleration, it's not like Kira-san Black's 0.3. Kira-san Black has a 0.3 acceleration and 0.25 target speed, which makes it so when she's strong, she's strong. But for Seiun Sky Ballroom, it's a little bit awkward because a lot of the effect went to the target speed, which simply doesn't work on long tracks, which Seiun Sky excels at. The acceleration part of the unique skill is going to kick in first at the start of the late game, but any target speed increase is not going to work on the acceleration zone. For example, here. This part. Any target speed effect activated on the acceleration zone does not work, and only the acceleration part is going to kick in. It's not like this is a speed carryover unique as well. So the target speed effect is just wasted on top of the acceleration zone here. And it's a little bit awkward for Ballroom Seiun Sky initially when she has only 0.1 acceleration. Now, after the buff, the 0.2 makes it so she has the acceleration similar to Kira-san Black. As you may know, she can also inherit Kira-san Black's unique skill for an extra 0.1 acceleration, and vice versa. Kira-san Black, with her 0.3 acceleration, can inherit Seiun Sky's post buff is 0.07 acceleration onto Kira-san Black for a little bit more acceleration. Before the buff, this unique skill gives 0.05 acceleration instead, which is fine because for the next few long CMs here, it's Sagittarius, which is CM 20 on Arima Kinen, and then also Arias Cup, which is Kyoto 3200. These two tracks is going to not have that many available accelerations anyways. So for Sagittarius Cup, which is Arima Kinen, since the available accelerations aren't that rich anyways, people will be inheriting Seiun Sky's unique skill regardless. And you'll also want to inherit OG Seiun Sky. So we're taking inherited OG Seiun Sky, Ballroom Seiun Sky, as well as Kira-san Black. So Kira-san Black will want to get grandparent, Ballroom Seiun Sky, and then parents will have OG Seiun Sky, and then Seiun Sky herself will run Ballroom Seiun Sky into getting grandparent, Angling and Scheming, and then getting Kira-san Black unique on the other side, and maybe Valentine unique skill on the other parent to take the grandparent OG Seiun Sky. So basically something like this. Our unique skill is also sometimes inherited by Pace Chasers for a little bit more extra acceleration. The stat bonuses is 8% speed, power, and 14% guts. At first glance, it may look a little bit awkward, and it kinda is as well. But with like 2 speed cards, 1 stamina, stamina sparks, as well as 2 wit cards and the scenario card, usually this will be able to hit the stat line. You'll need to invest a little bit more to take care of the stamina stats for Seiun Sky Ballroom. And once you guys get your hands on to Ballroom Seiun Sky, you'll You'll understand what I mean once you do a few runs on her. Especially on large scenario, this stat line is actually playable. I remember running with something like a 2 speed, 1 stamina, and 2 wit cards, or like 2 speed, 2 stamina, 1 wit card, and the scenario card. On other scenarios, you'll be able to get decent results off of this stat bonus. The idea for this stat line is just for you to bring speed, stam, and wit, and increase your power alongside your speed, and then bring like guts up as well. Unfortunately, the wit stat will need a little bit more care. Depending on the wit cards that get released in the future, 0% wit becomes not too much of a problem. Her skills are really interesting. She has innate Spring Runner as well as right-handed. I'll explain the right-handed event, but innate skill is Spring Runner. She has both spring and right-handed for Tennosho Spring. She is a Tennosho Spring Uma. She has 120 speed starting, very strong skills. There is fast-paced and escape artist, which we are also familiar with. One of the strongest, if not the strongest, frontrunner skills that you can have innately. She has early lead. For long races, if you get groundwork on top of early lead, it'll be enough. In the future, there is gold groundwork skill from Wit Bourbon card, and going 0.6 from gold groundwork plus early lead will be enough. Her potential 5 skill Top Runner is a 3-second 0.35 skill. It is the gold version of Leader's Pride, a skill that is all the more broken. A skill that is really strong for frontrunners, and I'm sure you guys are already familiar with these skills. Like, it's gold Leader's Pride plus gold escape artist. You cannot ask for more for mid-game fighting in a frontrunner kit. The unfortunate part is that her unique skill is slightly weaker, but every other part of her kit is strong. Let's look at her events. She has 3 events here. This, and this. Memories Adorned with Flowers is affected by the choice you make on before. I have no idea how to read this. Basically, this event that happens only on late March. It only happens on this round, and it will always happen on this round, where it's like before or after the inspiration. And if you click, for example, top for 30 energy on the spot right before Sasukisho, you're going to get right-handed hint 1 when it's like the third year, second inspiration. Around there, after the inspiration, you're going to get this right-handed event. And if you click bottom on the event that occurs right after the inspiration on early April, it's going to affect the event that happens on the 3rd year, early April, that lets you get an extra 15 stamina and 30 skill points and right-handed. It's essentially you're borrowing energy from the past and converting it into stamina and skill points and more skill points in the future. Usually, you might just take outing around this timing and just have full energy going into inspo. Then you don't need to greed for the 30 energy. Regardless, that's not the most broken part of her kit, because we already have right-handed and Spring Runner. There has been like maybe 1 at most, I forgot. It's like 0 long tracks that is left-handed so far. It's all right-handed. This Uma has right-handed Spring Runner, and most of the years have Tennosho Spring either CM or LOH on it. Anyways, this Uma also has Fast Learner event, and this Fast Learner event is different from other Fast Learner events. It's not 100% consistent proccing on like early April, just like the other two, these two. For some of the Fast Learner events in Umamusume, they have a set trigger period, which they will appear around that time. For example, Ballroom Daichi Ruby has a Fast Learner event that very consistently procs at around junior year, around like November or something. So this Fast Learner event will always occur, or most of the time occur, at the end of junior year. It is the same for Seiun Sky. Seiun Sky's Fast Learner event also has this trait. You can think of it as Charles just said this character can reroll Fast Learner. It's not going to appear 100% of the time at the junior year, but this very often appears in junior year, and once you get your hands on Seiun Sky, you'll understand. And I've played LOHs, I've played Champions Meetings, sitting on Seiun Sky, and then rerolling the early game just for Fast Learner in like the scenarios after this man scenario. It's a thing that exists, and it's something that you can do. It's not for everybody, and it's certainly not for the first 2 years, because Fast Learner at the current stage of the game, it's still like what, 2,000, 3,000-ish skill points. We're lower than 3,000 skill points for most of the players. As we go on to the future scenarios, we're going to get more and more skill points for every player, for every run, and Fast Learner becomes increasingly important. But for now, I'm not going to tell you to reroll Fast Learner. That is absolutely so. And again, she's strong for all of the long CMs that come, all of the LOH long events. As frontrunner, she will have plenty of time to shine, and you'll see her at the front alongside, say, Kida-san or other frontrunners a lot of the time. She's not a bad investment, and only gets better as time goes on because of the fast learner event. Although the Evo versions of the skills may not be the biggest buffs of the world because they both get recovery effect, which is kind of unfortunate. Although it's not the strongest in the world, it's still quite respectable, and among, like, between Kira-san OG and also Ballroom Seiun Sky, Ballroom Seiun Sky will be the one that remains on the front lines of frontrunners, and Kira-san Black is going to get the new version, which is the anime Kira. And finally, Seiun Sky Ballroom goes very well with Wedding Nishino Flower, and it's very cute to see them together. That's going to be it for Seiun Sky for now. Let's move on to Fuji Kiseki. Ballroom Fuji Kiseki is a decent mile runner. The stat bonus is 8% speed, 14% power, and 8% weight. It is a very sturdy and strong stat bonus that we will benefit from very much because power bonus is strong, weight bonus is strong, speed is the necessary stat. It's a very comfortable bonus that you can just run a gut stack and build a very comfortable mile stat line out of. Her kit and her aptitudes tie well together. She has Pace Chaser and Mile Aptitude, and she is very much a mile runner. Her unique skill is a 0.45 target speed for base duration of 4 seconds, not 5 seconds, it's a little bit shorter, if she is on the final corner and she overtakes a person from 1st place to 4th place. This is a final corner unique skill that gives her potential speed carryover of a very strong 0.45 effect. This unique skill can also be inherited. When inherited, give the user a 2.4 second 0.25 target speed effect. For all mile runners, for people in the front, for example, for Pace Chasers, this unique skill is going to be a decent inherit that gives a good chance of speed carryover once you overtake. However, you do have to overtake somebody on the final corner. When the trigger condition is overtaking, sometimes things get messy and is not as consistent as you would probably like it to be. This is a unique skill worth considering to put on, say, the other side of the parent or a grandparent slot if you have the luxury to do so. Let's look at her innate skills. She has Trick Front, which blades, debuff skill that debuff stamina, it's whatever. She has mile corners, prepare to pass, and speed star actually. She has speed star innately on her pot 5, and head on as well. While tantalizing trick and trick front does not work obviously on a mile track, speed star is pretty good to enable her unique skill. Obviously you can still get speed star from fine motion and will help it not be that expensive, but for any mile track with speed star and then this unique skill with a little bit more corner skills, this Ravisan's unique skill from Fuji Kiseki Ballroom is going to have a decent chance of speed carryover and can sometimes be really strong on mile tracks as a pace chaser. Her custom event gives right-handed. She can get either Charming or she can pick Unyielding Spirit, a really strong skill on mile at the cost of not getting the Charming roll. So if you're in the middle of the run and you already have your bonds leveled, I would say Unyielding Spirit is the much better pick here because Unyielding Spirit is such a strong skill enabling her to get a good position in the mile race. Her kit is more focused on the latter half of mile races, and she doesn't have that many mid-game skills to sustain her early game. An Uma such as Taiki Shuttle may just proc Mile Maven in the early game and then just run her down and get an insanely good distance. On mile races, one thing that happens very often is the lobby becomes very front-facing, basically meaning that frontrunners and pace chasers dominate the lobby and the amount of mill game skill will matter a lot. On mile races, usually people have to fight for 1st to 5th place, which is Angling Scheming, El Conopasa Prancha, Symboli, which is Nishino Flower Unique for 3rd to 4th place, as well as the 1st to 5th place for Dueling Proc in order to convert into a win after you proc all the accelerations. There's a lot of characters out there that have stronger mill game skill that, for example, Taiki has Mile Maven and Changing Gears that just procs a lot of the time in the early game. She will be able to take a good position for shooting for victory. This is one of the characters. Fuji Kiseki may have a slightly harder time in fighting for a forward position, and you'll have to pump a little bit more mid-game on her, and be wary of how much early game and middle game you buy on her. When we get into 2nd anniversary, after EVOs are dropped, I forgot when this EVO was dropped, but I don't think you're going to get the one that swaps the debuff skill out for a speed skill. I don't think you're going to get it immediately on the 2nd anniversary. I might be wrong though. I don't think this is added on 2nd anniversary. I think this is the initial skill, but I don't think this new skill that turns Tantalizing Trick, a debuff skill, into a speed skill was added initially on the 2nd anniversary, and it's just one of the updates in the middle. I don't exactly remember when, but one of the updates in the middle that gave her an extra Evo skill during one of the buffs. Personally, I like OG Kiseki a little bit more because of how strong Big Sister Lee is and how much she has. Race Planner doesn't work, but like OG Kiseki is pretty cool. If you really like Kiseki, if it's your Oshi, you're pulling it anyways, and you're watching this video to learn about Kiseki and how to make her work, then yeah, that's great. The new version is more of a mild Uma. The OG Kiseki can go anywhere, I suppose. That's like my analysis of Kiseki. I think OG Kiseki with a unique skill on 0.45 vaudeville, and also some of the skills here is going to be a little bit more suited for Oshi PvP on other tracks outside of mile races. And for new Kiseki, she's very good for mile, but not as good for other distances. Let's look at the support cards. Each of these support cards have something special going on for them, and I'll talk about it right now. Symboli Rudolf SSR stamina card gives, the gold skill is Burning Soul. Burning Soul is a medium skill that procs when you engage in a challenge mid-pack, mid-race, and you will moderately recover stamina and also moderately increase her speed. This skill, before the second anniversary buff, a 0.25 for 1.8 seconds, and the proc condition for it is have somebody blocking you on the side for larger than or equal to 2 times, so engage in a challenge, and be on 4th to 6th place. This is a pace chaser / late surger position, mostly pace chaser actually, and this skill, and it gives like half a gold recovery, a little bit more than half a gold recovery, as well as half a speed skill, like a 0.25 for 1.8 seconds. At the current state of the game, this skill, pre-buff, was not really that great. The white skill was somewhat buyable because of the speed effect if you don't really have any other things to buy. If you don't have other things to buy, it's a 1.8 second, not a 2.4 or 3 second type, so the duration is on the short end. Because the condition of it is when engaged in a challenge, aka being blocked on the side for 2 or more seconds. So you get a 1.8 second 0.15. The white skill, for example, on the back stretch of Tokyo Racecourse, complete the overtake. This is one of the skills that interact with opponents and will proc and give you a teeny bit more speed effect to complete overtakes. Its current state, because it's 1.8 seconds only, it's not a skill that we highly prioritize. And even when it's buffed to a, the 0.35, and even when the duration is buffed, the gold skill itself is not worth going out of your way to get. Yet the white skill is something to keep in mind of after second anniversary to actively go for it. It will start to appear in a bunch of support cards, a bunch of late surger specific support cards, and it's like a really cool skill that helps you fight out a position on 3rd place to 7th place. Post buff is going to be good. Pre buff, it's currently a 4 to 6, so a pace chaser in a front runner lobby with this gold skill is going to kinda do fine. There is way better skills to borrow for, and you don't really need this card. You don't borrow this card for the challenge thing. You use El Condopasa power to push forward and shred your opponent with a 2.4 second skill or 2. This card is like, it's whatever. Just the skill itself was worth talking about. What about the hint? This card is a debuff card that gives all the subdued skills. Each of these deal 1% stamina debuff. It has a hit frequency of 50, which is quite high, and a hit level of 3, which means that if you get the hint, it's going to be hint at level 4, and then you will just spend like 90 skill points to prune it, and you'll be able to buy all the other skills. This is a debuff card. Not for now, because stam debuffers suck in Mant. It's so easy to get stamina stat in Mant. We don't need the stamina debuffs now, but we use it for Grand Live or anywhere in the future where we will need stamina debuffs. These medium skills here, I guess, this mid-game lets your nice nature walk up to your opponent and slam all-seeing eyes, I suppose. It has a little bit of mid-game, it has Burning Soul. It's not like you buy this. Oh, you can actually kill the event, I believe. Yeah, you can stop the event at the second chain, and you can take the Stamina and Guts as well here, or you can just go all the way and get the Burning Soul skill. In general, for frontliners, for Umas in the front, for Derby, Pace Chaser, and Frontrunner, you will not need this card. Do not borrow this card, okay? If you get the white skill, it's fine. If you get the white skill from races, it's okay to buy. This is like one of the skills. Just don't go for the gold skill. Why would this card be on your ace deck, okay? Oh, finally, I guess, to talk about the training effectiveness and stuff. stuff. It has 10 RB, it has initial stat of 10 for all of the stats, where, for example, if you have a deck that has, like, say, let's just speed, stam, then you will get, I believe it is 50 stamina stat and 10 speed stats. Yeah, just pretend there is the other one more card. There's Rudolf here. That's how it works. It's not really used on an ace deck. Don't use this on an ace deck, please. There is other support cards that let you get way better skills on an ace, so don't use this on your ace in the derby. Please don't let me see anybody run this card. Even if you need stamina and you're like, oh, there's a recovery skill. What about the recovery, Charles? No, just grab Stamina Sparks. If you can't, just grab Super Creek or something. Grab stats from Marvel Sunday Power and hit the stamina requirement with Marvel Sunday Power as Stamina Sparks. Don't grab a stamina card on your ace. And if you're really desperate for it, just go grab Nakayama Festa or any power card in general. On to Sirius Symboli, Wit card. A very interesting card. Hi, Symboli. This card has a unique effect of if every time you click on Wit, you click on a Wit for a rainbow. So you can only stack it after you get rainbow. You click one time, you get another 3% friendship bonus, up to a total of 15 for 5 times. It has a base friendship bonus of 20, so it starts off weak. Eventually you click it a lot and then it will go up in terms of the friendship bonus, and the clicks in the late game will be strong after your facil is leveled up. It's an alright effect. It's not like it's super good. The skills on this thing though is interesting. It has at MLB a hit frequency of 10%. Wow, that's crazy. It's actually still kind of a low end because the skills are not that bad. It has Lone Wolf, which is like actually somewhat viable. We have medium corners, late surge straightaways. We kind of want these skins, and 10% is unfortunate. Regardless, let's look at the event skills. PTO for free if you click bottom. If you click top, you get 15 energy. On the second event, late surge savvy. Third event, you gamble, either take the chance. In Japanese, this is one chance, and then from the brink. From the brink, if positioned towards the back in the late race. In global, this is 50%. So CM larger than equal to 5. So 5th place to 9th place out of 1st to 4th. So if you're 1st to 4th place, it doesn't proc. If you are out of 1st to 4th, you're 5th to 9th place on the derby, on Satsuki Show, this thing will proc. And it will give you a 1.8 second 0.4, or the white skill is 0.2 acceleration. This skill is a gamble excel, similar to those who you're already familiar with. For example, Nice Nature. This is like Nice Nature on your left, except that Nice Nature on your left is 6th to 9th place. Yet the Sirius Symboli is a 5th to 9th place and 1.2 seconds. 0.2 XL or 0.4 XL. Nice Nature is 1.8 seconds. Symboli is 1.2 seconds. This skill, both the gold and the white, the gold is like, it's for certain players, certain late surger players or end closer players on derby that are looking to take one more chance, have one more extra shot at winning the game and accelerating. This skill is alright to take. This skill is alright to take. I would rather take this over on your left any day of the week because this shit is... oh my gosh, 6th to 9th place is terrible. And from the brink, although it's still a gamble excel, just like on your left. Grabbing says, take the chance, white. That's 2 dice rolls. You can get 2 chances to take the chance and acceleration and proc acceleration. Yeah. On the derby, this will be the most significant because backliners with just a tiny bit of excel, they can still run down the entire lobby with a high enough top speed on the home stretch because dueling is so prevalent on derby. Take the chance is a good skill for derby. I will not suggest it to be ran on Satsuki Show CM12. I'll just only suggest it on derby. On Satsuki Show, if you are 6th place, you're pretty much losing to Crystal Sobri anyways. And the late surgers are cope, but on Satsuki Show, it's like late surgers are not as strong, really. Late surgers have their time to shine, and closers can shine on the derby CM30. So this support card has decent training effect once you ramp it up. There is no training effectiveness. There's no TE here. There's only friendship. There's a bunch of mood effect, which is something, and a decent specialty priority, as well as speed bonus. This card is playable for main decking on Derby. You can borrow this card. If you have the power cards already, you can go like Marvelous Sunday, and then you can slime Nice Nature and go this card for late surgers and closers. If you want more mid-game, actually, yeah, I agree with getting more mid-game over getting this card, because you can always take the chance off of the Trackblazer hints from the races. Now, finally, onto Airshakar speed card. This is a free support card that gives some stats. This is a 2 speed bonus and then 1 power bonus support card that has 5% race bonus and a decent initial friendship gauge. It has 50 specialty priority and some hint frequencies. Overall, a decent speed / power bonus. It makes it so it's not too weak in terms of training on speed or power. And the hints itself, it has spurt and enclose of corners. It's okay lah, it's okay. It gives Serenity as its gold skill. This skill is like, nah, just don't look at the skill, please. Just ignore, forget about the skill. The main talking point of this support card is that Eager, this hint, is in the game now, which means backliners get a new skill for pushing up. With Eager in the hint pool of Trackblazer runs or backliner Umas, you can hit a new backliner skill. You can get more mid-game. Yeah, this is like a backliner exclusive skill that lets you push back up, and it's going to help. It's a 2.4 second. It's pretty decent. That's going to be it for this video. Finally, here is a summary of the Ballroom banner. We are basically going to skip all. If you are pulling for Nishino Flower, pull for Nishino Flower. Play according to your pull plan. There should not be that many support cards to pull for during the Trackblazer scenario. And everybody just save for CB, save for Maru, save for Tachyon. If you don't have Tachyon Emerald Bead, it's cooked. Let's not waste carats here for the majority of the player base. If you're a whale and you can afford to swipe for Saiyan Sky, it's okay. I think Saiyan Sky is a decent investment, but you're not going to be playing her for a good like 6 months until the Arimakinen CM on Grand Live. So for the remainder of the Trackblazer scenarios, Ballroom Seiun won't get used at all. And then for Grand Live, she gets used for 1 CM, and in the future, she gets better as time goes on until more units power creep her a little bit more. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This is Charles of Victoria Frontier. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Charles of Victoria Frontier. I'll see you guys in the next one.